Goals then, hitting the roadblock. So you've got some goals and you've kind of hit a roadblock after a few weeks, months or whatever, and you can't seem to get there. So here's four for you. The first one for you, which I'll pop in the top left-hand corner, comes from Warren Buffett, or Buffet, depends on how you pronounce his name. He's the guy that's one of the richest guys in the world who runs fund managers, billions of people's money he runs. Berkshire Hathaway, very popular, very successful guy. Now, he had a personal pilot, shows how rich he is, a personal pilot for his personal jet called Mike Flint. It's a great name, that, Mike Flint. It sounds like a secret agent. Now, Mike Flint wanted some careers advice, so apparently Warren gave Mike some careers advice, and he gave him the 5-25 rule. There you go, the 5-25 rule. And I'll give this one the Warren Buffett to give you some credibility to attach to Warren Buffett. I think it's 2 T's. Now, what's the 5-25 rule? Well, what he said was that most people, they have too many goals. They set too many objectives, too many things to do. And I'm as guilty as the next. I have this aversion to being not doing anything. So I need to be always active, always proactive. So I probably set too many goals each year, which can actually cause a bit of an issue. If you've got too much to do, you can feel a bit overwhelmed, can't you? And get you down, man. So what he said is, to Mike, he said, look, choose your 25 career goals, so a bit of career advice, find 25 things, but then pick the top 5. Avoid the rest. So brainstorm all the goals you want to do, pick the top 5 and ignore the rest. And I thought this was quite a good little technique, really, because I've got dozens of goals and objectives. Obviously, we've got teams of people to do them as well. But I thought, well, get rid of the rest of them. Just keep 5. Keep the 5 big ones. Just keep your focus on those 5, and that way you will achieve success. So that's a nice little way of unblocking if you do too many goals. It lets you focus your attention on 5. The other thing that comes from Buffett's idea, which is not actually his, is to cull the bottom 10%. This is more of a business idea, really. If you're running your own mortgage broking business, financial advising business, and you operate as an advisor, and you have a number of goals and things set, etc., and you're achieving great things, is you need to look at your business revenue and cull the bottom 10% of your revenue. So whatever it is that you are achieving, have a look at your activities and things that you do, and the bottom 10% you cull every year to focus your attention on the top 90%. Difficult to do that. If you make a bit of income from, talking to local schools, for example, you charge a little fee for that. That might not actually make a lot of money. It might take a lot of your time. So you cull that. It takes a lot of guts to do that, but that's one way of handling the situation. Cull the bottom 10%. Now here's number 2 for you. Here's another technique for you. And this is to unblock the goal by blowing away the boundaries of the goal. So let's just call this blow away the boundaries of the goal. Now all goals, whatever you set, all objectives are written down, and you can smart them if you want to, and they have boundaries. And often we look at the goal, don't we? And we're kind of restricted to what it says and what it wants us to do, even if we smart objectivized it as well. So here's a little technique that you can use, which gets you thinking beyond the goal, maybe gets you a little bit of lateral thinking as well. And it's a bit NLP, this one, so it's a bit psychology going on here. But it's to do with how you look at the goal. And what you want to do here is to focus on the goal, but allow your mind to drift outside of the boundary. So what you want to do is you can do this now if you want to, look along a wall or something fairly blank right now. I'll look at the camera lens to illustrate this to you, and focus on your foveal vision. So right now I'm looking at the camera lens, which is just there, and I'm giving it foveal vision, which is laser sharp vision. Which is fine, and that's working well for me. I can see the camera lens. Likewise, if you can do the same to the wall. Now imagine on the wall is the goal that you set yourself. So one of the goals I've got is to reinvent my identity, more sort of an age-appropriate identity. I'm reinventing that this year as well, which is quite exciting for me. And it's written down. So I would focus on the words, to reinvent my age-appropriate identity. And I would look at that with foveal vision. Now what I'd like you to do is keep looking at the goal, but now practice your peripheral vision. Now, peripheral vision is where you focus on a spot, but you allow your brain, your eyes, to look along the side of you. So right now I'm looking at the camera lens, but I can now see other things in the studio. I can see the whiteboard over there, a couple of pictures. Over this side I can see some lights and some computer monitors and a plant there in the corner. I'm now focusing on my peripheral, although I'm looking at the spot in front of me. Now as I look at the goal, which is to re-identify my age-appropriate identity, I would look at it in a foveal way, but I would now relax and go peripheral on that. I've relaxed my jaw, relaxed my mind, and let myself drift to the side of that goal, come out of its boundary and start thinking about that goal beyond my immediate thoughts. Now, if you do that for a couple of minutes, you will start to think laterally beyond the confines of that goal. I'm doing it now, going into hypnotic trance. So that allows you then to look beyond it. And I think that's a really good technique to use. And I use that a lot when I've seen something and I keep reading it and looking at, how on earth am I going to do that? Where do I start? When you start to go peripheral beyond the boundary, you'll start to look at some new and more exciting methods to use. That's unblock the goal number 2 for you. Let's get on to unblock the goal number 3. And this one is probably my favourite. And that is to focus on the outcome of the goal, not the goal. Focus on what you're going to get once it's achieved. What does it feel like, look like? What does it sound like? So you focus on the outcome of the goal. That's number 3, by the way, there for you. Let's put that there. Then you will get more motivation and be able to really get your mind working on achieving that goal. Now, I use this thing called well-formed outcomes. It comes from NLP. And if I've got a really big, hairy goal and I want to maybe put it into my timeline for, say, 2-3 years' time, so I need to know what it looks like when I've achieved that goal. So the age-appropriate identity, for example, in a couple of years' time, I can look at myself as to what I look like when I've got this goal achieved, which might have a completely different look, different feel about who I am, etc. But that's the outcome that you're getting from that goal. Now here's a little game that you can play, which I've used on talks before, and it works really well. Here I have a rounder's bat. So let me go for a different angle on this one, for those of you watching the live stream. If you're listening to the podcast, imagine a rounder's bat, which you might be able to do. Now this is just a common garden rounder's bat, nothing fancy, it's quite solid. Now the objective of this is to balance the rounder's bat on your hand, on the palm of your hand. So put the handle of the rounder's bat on the palm of your hand like so, which I'm doing on the video, as you can see. Now what I'm looking at now, of course, is my hand and the rounder's bat handle, because I want that to be nice and straight and flat. And what I need to do is balance the thing, and it's not actually very easy. It's falling off. I'm looking at my hand carefully, and I can't do it for any length of a couple of seconds. It just keeps falling off. It's almost impossible. Now, if you now focus on the outcome of the bat, which is the end of the bat, if you focus on the outcome, just look to see how much easier it is to actually balance the bat. So let me do this in front of you. Let's see if this works, shall we? There you go. There you go. See? That's pretty good, isn't it? That's like 5, 6, 7 seconds, 10 seconds. Balancing that bat. I am balancing it. You can probably see on the video. Just by watching the outcome, watching the end of the bat allows me to focus and really keep that balance. Try it. It shows you, doesn't it, that if you focus on the outcome rather than the input, how am I going to do it, what I'm going to do, where do I start, focus on what it looks like when you've achieved it, it actually makes the goal far more enticing and exciting. And I often put my goals into a timeline. I put them into a image of what it looks like achieving it. I put that image into my future, embed it, memorize it, and it convinces myself that I'm going to achieve it. But because I'm focusing on what it looks like when I've achieved that goal, it becomes more interesting, more enticing, and I actually end up achieving that goal. Allow your subconscious to pretty much appreciate that you are going to achieve that goal, which is the key. So that's tip number 3 for you. Have I left the best to last? I think I have. So let's pop across then to the whiteboard and we'll put the last one on for you. Now the last one is to rephrase your goal so it becomes towards. Let me explain what I mean by this one. There's 2 types of motivation to achieve anything. There's towards the goal or there's away from. So there's towards the goal or away from. Now, away from is often how people express goals. They might say, for example, I want to lose weight, or I want to stop being unfit, or I want to sort my body out, or whatever it is. People often say these things because they're away from expression goals. So I want to lose some weight is purely and simply away from. I don't want to feel so lethargic anymore. Could be an away from goal. A lot of people express goals in that way. I'm not saying that's wrong, but away from goals work massively, but they're very inconsistent. They have they're context dependent, of course, because if you're trying to get away from something, that danger you're getting away from will probably run away at some point, so you've got nowhere to go, have you? Away from goals can be quite inconsistent. Away from often gives you lots of motivation, but it produces cortisol. It's the fight or flight mechanism, isn't it? If you're trying to get away from something, away from danger, for example, then your body will inject cortisol in your body, and that's fight or flight, and that's very temporary. It works, of course it works, but it's temporary. A towards goal is has much more longevity. Now, I'll give you an example. My favourite rugby team, as you know, Gloucester Rugby, those of you who listen to regularly. I love Gloucester Rugby. It's a local town, city. I think it's great. I love the rugby as well. Now, Gloucester Rugby have had a torrid time this season. They've lost on Saturday, I think it was, their 9th consecutive Premiership rugby match against Bath, of all people. Okay, it was over at the Rec. And they get close. It's 2 or 3 points sometimes, even just 1 point. So they're getting very close, but they keep losing. Now, obviously, the players want to do well. The fans want everybody to do well. So what are those players thinking? They want to... They want some motivation. There's no way they're going to win the league this year, not in a million years. But the problem with the Rugby Premiership this season is no relegation. Now, when you have a threat of relegation, in other words, you'll go down to the bottom division, that's quite motivating. So they would say, well, we don't want to be relegated this year, guys. And that might have been enough to have spurred them on, maybe to get that extra point or something that would have made a victory turn into a series of wins. I don't know. But there isn't a relegation this year, so they can fall to the bottom of the table and, end of the season, they'll go on holiday and nobody, they won't get their bonuses, I get that, but they'll still earn their basic salaries. There's no motivation there because the away from motivation won't work for them. And they haven't got a chance of doing it towards motivation because they can't win the league. So away from motivation is very, very strong. And where you have relegation, and particularly in the football Premiership, the last few games of the season, the bottom 3 or 5, 6 clubs will fight. They'll claw themselves to safety. It just gives you intense motivation, fueled by cortisol and fear. But it's only temporary. Now, the point I'm making here is if you phrase your goal in an away from manner, it might give you some motivation, but it probably won't be consistent. It probably won't allow you to achieve it throughout the whole year. So, for example, if you decide you want to lose some weight, you might, in the first couple of weeks, lose 4 or 5 pounds. Therefore, you've lost weight, haven't you? So your motivation starts to go, I've already lost my weight, so I don't need to worry about it anymore. It just shows you. But if you say to yourself, well, I want to gain a new physique, a new position, I want to gain health and vitality to be able to run without getting out of breath, I want to look good on the beach, or whatever is your phraseology, it's all towards. And that way, of course, you've always got something to strive towards, as opposed to getting away from danger. And that's really what it comes to. It allows you to stop procrastinating as well, because some people think they've achieved the goals when they haven't really achieved them. So that's my last one there for you, which is towards. Make your goal more towards. There we are. So there's 4 roadblockers, unblockers to unblock your goals if you feel that you're not achieving as much as you can. I hope that's been useful to you.